Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Getting Real. We are right in the middle of a powerful 20-week series where I'm sharing conversations from the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit, a space where extraordinary women with 7 to 9 figure businesses are opening up about what it really takes to build a life of impact, joy, and alignment, not just income. And for today's episode, you really want to lean in for this one. Grab paper, pen, take notes. If you're a woman who feels like you have a big idea inside of you, if you know you're meant for more, but something keeps stopping you, if you felt the fear, hesitation, or self doubt about bringing your calling into the world, then this interview is for you. This interview today is with Dr. Sally Good, a licensed clinical psychologist, author, podcast host, and the founder of the Impact and Legacy program. She calls herself a big idea Sherpa, and honestly, it fits because she helps brilliant, capable women bring the visions they've been carrying for years out into the world with clarity, courage, and deep alignment. And before we dive in, I want you to know this. Even though the summit itself has already happened, you can still access all the 20 interviews now and over $4,000 worth of generous VIP gifts our speakers shared right now for only $99 at www.tinyurl.com / VIP 7 figure. If you're the kind of woman who soaks up wisdom, who wants the full library, the full experience, the full elevation, go grab that VIP bundle. You will not regret it. All right, let's get into this beautiful conversation with Dr. Sally Good. Welcome back to the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit, where we go beyond income and into impact, alignment, and true fulfillment. I'm honored to introduce someone today who deeply understands the inner and outer journeys of bringing a big idea into life. Dr. Sally Good is a licensed clinical psychologist, a podcast host, an author, and the founder of the Impact and Legacy program. She's helping women go from having a vision in their hearts to launching programs, movements, and businesses that leave a lasting mark in the world. She calls herself a big idea Sherpa, which I love. And because sometimes, no matter how capable or accomplished we are, we still need someone to help us bring our highest calling into reality. And Dr. Good is somebody who helps us to do that. Sally, I am so thrilled you are here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And I am very excited about being here. And I wanted to say that I have watched your career and you have become a big idea woman. And it's marvelous to see that happen. And I want that to happen for more women in the world.
Oh, I love that. And which brings me to my first question, because you describe yourself as a big idea Sherpa, which is such a powerful phrase. Can you tell us what that means to you and how you discovered this calling?
I was helping people make a bigger impact with their businesses who were not really aligned, and they were having difficulty with getting traction.
Mm,
And what we decided was we'd have to look at the business, break it down, and find out what was the barrier. And the barrier almost was with the message and the alignment.
mm.
And when I started looking at alignment and messaging and where the source of all it came from, it hit me a divine sort of, I don't want to get too woo, but like a divine hit, like,
I'm very woo.
wow, there are people in the world who have these ideas that can impact culture, that can impact so many levels in so many ways, both locally and internationally. And they've not brought them into the world because of they're afraid, even though they're very established business people, then maybe they have been laughed at. Oh, yeah, right. Side eye, judgment, criticism. When people are afraid of your spark and they're afraid of your brilliance, people around you have a tendency to put you a little down. No, we want you to stay with us. We don't want you to play big. We don't want you to have the brilliance that we know you have, because then we won't be able to play with you anymore. It's a commentary that happens in many ways, and you've probably felt it and seen it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as the big idea Sherpa, I see people with the big idea, and there is no big idea that we can't play with. We want to let it come out and play so we can see how all the permutations of it. It's a judgment-free zone. You're not being selfish. You're not being crazy. You're being chosen. And when you're chosen and you know it in your head and you know it in your heart, it's just like it wakes you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It wakes you up when you look at your vision board. It's always there waiting, saying, why aren't you putting me out into the world? And so when I saw that with people, with women particularly, and I'm working with some people now that actually have ideas that we're going to bring into the world that will change corporate culture, will change family institutional culture, and it's going to be a really big, exciting thing. And those are the kind of ideas that just spark me and get me so inspired.
It sounds like that's your big idea to help others birth their big ideas or help their ideas journey out into the world and become what they were meant to be. Why do you think, because you said like, and I've had this, right? This real estate investor goddess came as this divine download for me, help a million women create financial freedom through real estate investing. Like doing this, it came as this, all right, that was pulling me. And I did take steps and I did move it forward. But there's so many people, and I'm sure there are a lot of women listening here, they're like, I have that idea. It does wake me up at night. I do. On one level, I really want to do it, but and they're super capable, but something is keeping them from doing it. Why do you think so many women are hesitating to bring their boldest visions into the world?
Let's face it, everybody who's ever been a visionary has been acutely criticized. It doesn't matter whether you're male, female, what the idea is, there's always the naysayers. You can look at Stephen Jobs, you can look at anybody who's always been criticized. So if you don't have anybody around you that says, okay, criticism is a part of this process, being uncomfortable is a part of progress, and knowing that uncomfortability means that you're making progress. When you have somebody around you that's experienced probably most of the fears and doubt that you've ever felt and who's overcome them. I have stories and stories of people who've been there and said, oh my gosh, I never thought I could do this. But you can do anything if you have the right mentor and you have the right coach. And it's all about being somebody believing in you, believing in the idea, believing in, like, you've got somebody who's like they call it your ride and die person. They're going to be there for you. They got your six. It doesn't matter what other people say. We don't care because we have felt the vision. We have felt the impact, and it's impact from impact, really big impact, to really big legacy. And
Mhm.
you're making that big impact right now with your legacy. And I want to see other women do the same. So you're up at night and you have this idea that you want to do. If you wanted to go up Mount Everest, which Sherpas help us do, you would choose a Sherpa who had some experience in either like bringing an idea, a book, a podcast, a summit, a course into the world and already had done it. And you would choose someone who had contacts that were both JV contacts, joint ventures, international contacts, people who could take your idea and propel them across the pond, who would welcome the opportunity to say, yay, we can take this. This is a product. This is a service. This is something that's going to fly. Let's get on board. We want to be on your vision. We want to be on your train. And so nobody wants to go up Everest wearing flip flops. we want to be well equipped. We want stages and we want sequencing. And when you learn what the stages and sequencing are and how the base camps operate and what the next level is, you never get to $1 million using the same strategy you got to five. You have to know what those strategies are. And the wonderful thing about having experience is you have a whole cadre of curated fractional CFOs, CEOs, techies who come in and help you when the time is right.
So good. It's really helpful. Because I was gonna add, and I think you've answered this, like why it's so important to have a guide or support structure, because I think there are a lot of women, and me included, you want to be liked, you want to be loved. This process will often come, like you said, with criticism and people who won't like what you're doing or who might, God forbid, not like you. And so having somebody who can keep you going, keep you on that path, regardless of that, and help you mentally prepare and then help you get to each of the stages. When we're trying to find a guide or that support structure, what are the 3 or 4 things you think are most important to have in such a guide?
The first, the first and foremost is for me is that you you honor the divine alignment, and that is forefront always. That idea that was given to you as a gift is always honored. And any decision we make, which way we decide to go in different industries or different strategies, we always come back to that. The vision, the alignment with the vision, the mission, that always informs us of where we're going next.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person you're seeking. You're also seeking someone who knows that you have a big idea and that you need to be prepared to come out into the world onto multiple stages. And that requires some shifting in your head. You start out like, oh, this is a great idea. I have the passion, I have the drive, I have the desire. And as soon as you start hitting up against that, oh, they're not going to like me if I do this, or I might lose some friends over this, then you have to decide, is the passion, is the desire there? Because uncomfortability is a guarantee. And learning how to be comfortable with uncomfortability is a skill set. And you need someone with you who's been there, who's done it on multiple levels, not only just externally, but also internally, because it is an internal dialogue. Almost always, as the idea grows, so does the capacity of the person who has the idea.
Yeah.
So we're making shifts. Each time we make a shift into another level of dominance and domain, we also have to shift our mindset to travel with us. Because we are the only bottleneck we have. We really are. And the bottom line to any idea giving life is simplicity. We do not want complications. We want a clear vision of simplicity. We can branch out into different areas that might bring that idea. Like this idea might be perfect for a book and a huge book launch, or this idea might be perfect on the stage to impact a lot of people. If you can imagine yourself standing on the stage with the big idea, and women are looking at you and their like eyes are like glowing, and they're like, you can see them like lean forward in their seats, and they're saying to themselves, that's a big idea. And you start getting emails that say, your book, your talk changed my life. It gave me the courage and the confidence to step out when I was afraid to before.
Love that. So this summit is about building a 7-figure lifestyle, which is rich in joy, impact, and purpose. How does stepping into your big idea contribute to that kind of life?
When you have a big idea and we map it out we're we're not just doing something fluffy here. We're creating a monetization of something that will go out into the world to not only do good, but create good. Because as a friend of mine says, there's nothing more pitiful than a philanthropist who is broke.
Yes.
We want to be able to have the finances to give to our greatest calling. For me, it's rescuing animals that have don't have homes. For other people, it's helping people in Africa learn how to do a skill set. But in order to get there, we have to make enough money to be able to afford that. In other words, we want to be so wealthy with the big idea that we infuse that into other people. We're going to start supporting other people's lifestyle by having the big idea. It just starts to ripple all the way across people who touch it, people who get certified to present it, people who want to sell it, people who want to give it to other people, either as a nonprofit or in the bigger corporate world. Because as corporations right now are looking for big ideas to create cohesion,
Hmm.
purpose, because we're divisive.
Yeah.
When we find a big idea that brings people together, that is a huge idea.
Love that. So for someone who's listening and they know they have a big idea brewing, what's one small step they can take today to begin to move it forward?
Okay, other than talking to me directly, which might be a good idea, they can start thinking about mapping it out. If today you have a big idea, what would it look like, say, 3 months from now, if you started actually working on it? And I don't mean just working on it, but sketching out a program to take you to where you want to go. Now, it starts with a conversation. There's two different ways to do it. I know we have VIP listeners, and we also have people who have hopped onto the summit, and God bless you all. I'm so glad you're all here. We could start out with, what's your big idea? A clarity call, 20 minutes.
For everybody who's
What's your
attending,
right? What's
Sally
your big idea?
has generously offered two big gifts that can help you take this first step. There's one for the general attendees, and which is the What's Your Big Idea Clarity session. There's one for the VIPs, which is your big idea unlocked, a 45-minute roadmap session. Can you tell us about each of those? And as a first step that anyone listening, okay, I need to do this, what they'll get from those calls.
Okay, what you'll get first of all is a non-judgmental, no judgment, no. We're going to take the idea and we're going to open it up and we're going to let it breathe and we're going to let it be itself in a spirit of, let's take a look at you and see who you are. We wanted to give it life. So giving it life means we're going to talk about it. It's probably already living inside your head. It's probably already got its own entity in there. I want to know what I want you to introduce me to what this idea is. And then from there, we can see, okay, what's the possibilities? And sometimes the possibilities are limitless, and sometimes the possibilities are more finite. In a 20-minute call, we'll take a look at that. In the VIP call, which will be 45 minutes, we'll really look at how long a legs does this idea have? In other words, how far will it reach? Will it reach internationally? Will it reach corporates? Will it reach nonprofits, educational institutions, families, individuals? We want to know what our reach is, how long those legs are, and what the impact is going to be when it does have that reach. We'll do a little roadmap, like some possibilities. How would we get the legs out there? How would we get the idea to where you want it to be? And this is a lot of give and take because it's your idea. You birthed it. you've had it in your head living around. And I'll just as a person who's worked in geriatrics also for a pretty long time, you don't want to be laying on your deathbed, looking around your room and saying, I should have done that. Your idea is still sitting there saying, how come you didn't give me life? You don't want to be in that position. You want to not wait until that point comes. If you've got this idea, now is the time. There's no time even better now with the world in the condition, both good, bad, whatever. It's a time of movement. There's opportunity, there's movement everywhere. If you have a big idea, it's time to give it some birth.
Thank you so much, Sally. It was really beautiful and helpful to be reminded that we have these ideas for a reason, that they matter, and that we don't have to bring them out into the world alone. And in fact, it's works so much better when we do have a guide. So again, if you've been sitting on a dream, you have a message, you have a movement that is like living in your heart or head, consider this your sign. Your big idea is needed out there in the world, and as Sally says, it deserves a guide. Please do click on her links to take advantage of her very generous offer. As a VIP, you can actually click on both of those links and have both of those
Yes,
calls. Um,
yes.
and have over an hour of support in terms of birthing your ideas, just thinking through them.
And and it would be my honor because as a Sherpa, it's my idea to be the humble helper to bring the divine into the world.
Mm.
So it would be my honor to hear your big idea.
Thank you, Sally. It was my honor to have you here. This was so wonderful and valuable. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Wow, every time I listen to a conversation like that, I'm reminded of something so important. Your big idea did not land in your heart by accident. It chose you and it deserves a guide. You don't have to carry it or birth it alone. We are in the middle of this 20-week series from the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit, and Sally's message is such a powerful reminder of why I created this series in the first place. Women need support. Women need community. Women need to hear from other women who have walked the path and are now lighting the way. If you want access to all of these incredible conversations right now, you want the entire summit library and more than $4,000 worth of VIP gifts our speakers have so generously contributed, it's not too late. You can get the full collection for only $99 at www.tinyurl.com/VIP seven figure. So go immerse yourself, let these women expand you, activate you, and give you the tools to step into the life and legacy you're meant to create. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for getting real with me, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.